Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. So today we have some slides left to complete. And then inshallah, if we have time, if we are left with some time, then we may start with textbook lesson 2, inshallah. Let's see how it goes. So yesterday, I hope the confusion was cleared yesterday about Laisa wa ismu Laisa. Okay, so there is a sister asking something. Sorry, I couldn't attend yesterday's class. Watching the recording, alhamdulillah, just one doubt. So hum muslimuna becomes as below laysu muslimina. Yes, yeah, and we cannot write the sentence as below. No, laysa hum you cannot write, but what you can write is hum laysu muslimina. You can write that way. Okay. I hope it's clear, Sister Aisha. Okay. So okay. Now, just one thing, because this is part of the lesson, that's why I'm taking this part. If I want to ask any person, I meet an unknown person, and I want to ask him, who are you? Right? In English, normally I will just ask, English, I'll just say, who are you? But in Arabic language, and there are many languages in which just asking such a direct question is somewhat offensive. So it's very unpolite way to ask. Mananta means who are you? Like it's like very too blunt. Even in my language, my mother tongue, if I will ask like who are you, it sounds very blunt and it sounds very unpolite. So there's a good way to ask. So suppose you are asking a person, so you will say man al akhu, or since there is al after that, so you will say manil akhu. Okay, so you will say manil akhu, which means who are you, brother? Okay, that's a polite way, a nice way of asking. So there is such a question asked in the lesson. So just this was a valid point that I would like to ask, mention this. Otherwise, someone will question why not mananta. So manilahu, that's a nice way of asking things. Now there is something I would like to, this is a very important information, by the way, especially for the people who are from the subcontinent, Indian subcontinent. And you need to look into this very carefully. Many people, they are not aware about this information. See, if you see the Mus'haf, the Quran that is printed in the Arab world, and if you see the Quran that is printed in the Indian subcontinent, India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, you'll find the script that is used is a bit different, right? And even if you see sometimes the harakat are different. For example, here I'm writing ibnun, and this ibnun have hamzatul wasl, right? So this hamzatul wasl, I'm putting a special sign over here, which is like you have cut off the sword, and you have just put the neck of the sword on this. This looks like a neck of the sword, the letter sword. Okay, so I have put just the neck of the sword here, which indicates this is hamzatul wasl. And in book number 1, I explained to you that Hamzatul Wasl is written in different forms. One way of writing Hamzatul Wasl is by putting the neck of Swad over the alif. And the other way of just writing an alif without Hamza over it, or without Hamza below it. Okay. So this is, these are different ways of writing Hamzatul Wasl. Now, it is important to know because such signs you will not find, such harakat you will not find in the mushaf that is printed in the Indian subcontinent, India, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka, that side. That's why if you learn Arabic language and if you will read mushaf, you'll find that the words and the signs that are used in the mushaf, which is printed in Arab world, will appear to be more grammatically correct to you. I'm not saying that that script is wrong, but it's a way of seeing. At the end, Arabic language doesn't need harakat. Like in Urdu, people who are from the Urdu background, when they write Urdu, or they write Persian, people from Persian background, they do not put harakat over it. Same way, the people who are native Arabic speakers, when they write Arabic, they do not put harakat over it. Now, harakat are something that was put later on in the mushaf so that people will read Quran correctly with the proper pronunciation. Okay. So these harakat are only somewhat little bit different when you see the script that is printed in Indian subcontinent and something that is printed in the Arab world. So I prefer to use to read from mushaf that is printed in the Arab world because I found it's more easy to read from there. So let's take this example. Now this is the example of Surah At-Tawbah. And by the way, this is related to the topic, but I'm not going out of topic. I'm not discussing Quran here, but I want to tell you something because in this book, in this especially lesson number 2, kind of a different terminology is used. The author of the book, he has used a little bit different terminology. So for example, this is the ayah of Surah At-Tawbah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَقَالَتِ الْيَهُودُ عُزَيْرٌ. Uzair is the name of Prophet. Uzair, okay? Actually, his name is Uzairun. And then after that is Ibnullah, means the Jews. The Jews, they say Uzair is son of Allah. This is their claim. Like the Christians, they say Isa is the son of Allah. Same thing, the Jews, they say the son of Allah. Now those Jews, I don't want to go into the explanation of Quran. Now those Jews, you do not find them now because they have, I think that was the belief that was existing few hundred years ago or something, and gradually now these Jews have, the current Jews have diverted to a much faraway diversion. Maybe there are few Jews still left who still believe that Uzair is son of Allah, but I think the current Jews, they have totally different belief now. Anyway, so I'm not going to talk about those things, but this is how it is written in the mushaf that is printed in the Arab world, in Saudi Arabia and other countries. But if you see the same ayah in the Indian subcontinent mushaf, you will say waqalatil yahudu Uzairu. How it is written? Uzairu, and there is a small noon written there, a small noon, and there is a kasra below it. And from my childhood, I never understood why is this small noon with kasra written. But my qari used to teach me when I was child that, okay, you have to just read Uzairu, Uzairu, Nibnullahi, like that. So we were following it. And I'm sure many of you, they are just following that rule which was taught to you by their teachers. So Uzairu Nibnullahi, that's how you are reading it, this ayah. Actually, it was Uzairun. So what they have done here is they are writing Uzairu. If they will write Uzairun, it will be difficult to read this way, but the person who knows Arabic, he knows how to read this. So the correct way of reading is Uzairun. He will pronounce complete un here. Uzairunub. You cannot say Uzairunub. So when there is a Hamzatul Wasl coming after that, so they automatically, the sound, they will make it Kasra. So they will say Uzairun ibnullahi. Uzairun ibnullahi. Automatically, the person who knows Arabic, he will automatically make that sound with Kasra when there is a word with Tanween appearing before the Hamzatul Wasl word. Okay, so he will automatically make. Now, so this is this, that's why this arrangement is not needed. But for those people who do not know Arabic, they will not be able to read this correctly. So that's why they are using these techniques, that they will put a small noon, kasra below it, so that people will read the ayah correctly. Understood, brothers and sisters? So the rule when you are reading Quran is, when you see the word ibnun, and this is especially for ibnun word, okay, because ibnun contains Hamzatul Wasl. So when you see a word ibnun and there is a noun coming before ibnun, and that noun is ending with tanween, then it is pronounced as kasra. Okay, Uzairu nibna. So Uzairu nibnullah, this is how it is pronounced. So like rice, as if taking two sounds, ru, and then you are ending in the noon, and then that noon you are making it kasra. So this is specifically when ibn comes, okay, after the any name, noun. This is the rule that is followed in Quran. But in the colloquial, when spoken Arabic, you do not find all these things being followed so strictly. Because, you know, in the course of time, people, different regions, they have different ways of speaking, and many things, they do not follow it so strictly what is followed in Quran. So in this book, for example, in chapter number 2, you will find there are words coming like this. For example, Muhammadun ibnu Yasirin. So if we follow the rule of Quran, how you will say Muhammadun ibnu Yasirin. So that is very pure Arabic, I would say. Muhammadun ibnu Yasirin. That is very correct. But it is somewhat difficult to say, right? It's somewhat difficult to say the same way. Bilalun ibnul Hamidin. So it is difficult on the tongue. So in the book, they have used a different approach. So same way, Muhammadun ibnu Abdullahi. So how the approach that they have used in this book is, they say Muhammad ibn Yasirin. So they are completely ignoring Hamzatul Wasl, or Hamzatul Wasl is not pronounced, and there also it's not pronounced, but they are removing this tanween from Muhammad. So Muhammad ibn Yasirin. Same way, Bilal ibn Hamidin, Muhammad ibn Abdullahi. This is the approach that is used in the book, textbook. So if you will find such sentences in the book, don't worry, don't think that it's wrong. No, that's okay. And this is, but when you are reading Quran, this is the thing that is more correct. That's a very Quran, and that's a very classical Arabic. Understood, brothers and sisters? So this is something that you need to make a note of. Okay. But for the sake of our course, we will be using this concept, okay, for the sake of our study. Okay. So I would like to, before I go into the textbook, I would like you to revise, just go through the revision of Bab again. And I'm going to repeat the Babs So I should do it every day. So you repeat with me loudly so that you will memorize them. There are a lot of people I have seen, there are some elderly people attending this course. I know for them, memorizing things is difficult. There are a lot of people of my age and there are so many people have their own responsibilities. I'm sure for them memorizing in this age is difficult. But inshallah, if we will be repeating things every day, and if you repeat with me, it will be memorized inshallah for you. So let's go through the revision of Thulathi Mujarrad. Okay, but which is the first one. The first bab is Bab Nasara. Bab Nasara. So Nasara, Yansuru, Nusratan, or you can say Nusran also, but I have taken Nusratan here. Nasara, Yansuru, Nusratan. Now Masdar, you'll find there might be many Masdar for different babs. So you can take one of the Masdar and you can just memorize with that. And Masdar can change. But what is important is these things you have to know. Nasara, Yansuru, Nusratan. Now for Bab Daraba, Daraba Yadribu, Darban. Nasara Yansuru, Nusratan. Daraba Yadribu, Darban. Fataha Yaftahu, Fathan. Again, I'm repeating. Repeat with me. Nasara Yansuru, Nusratan. Daraba Yadribu, Darban. Fataha Yaftahu, Fathan. Again, Nasara Yansuru, Nusratan. Daraba Yadribu, Darban. Fataha Yaftahu, Fathan. Okay. Now Sabab Sami'a. Sami'a Yasma'u, Sam'an. Hasiba Yahsibu, Hisaban. Karuma Yakrumu, Karamatan. Actually, I have to modify this slide. The correct order is Karuma should be fourth bab. Okay, it's okay, but you can remember them. So you can say Samiya Yasma'u Sam'an, Hasiba Yahsibu Hisaban, Karuma Yakrumu Karamatan. Samiya Yasma'u Sam'an, Hasiba Yahsibu Hisaban, Karuma Yakrumu Karamatan. Now you have learned Mazid Fihi also last time in the last surf class. So how many Mazid Fihi are there? How many babs in Mazid Fihi? Anyone can answer? How many you have learned? How many? Okay, 8. Excellent. Aslama. Yes. Aslama yuslimu islaman. Read it slowly. You don't need to do it very fast. Otherwise your tongue will, slip. Aslama yuslimu islaman. Allama yuallimu ta'liman. Aslama yuslimu islaman. Allama yuallimu ta'liman. Aslama yuslimu islaman. Allama yuallimu ta'liman. Then jahada yujahidu jihadan or mujahadatan. Then ta'allama yata'allamu ta'alluman. Jahada yujahidu jihadan wa aw mujahadatan. Ta'allama yata'allamu ta'alluman. Okay. Jahada yujahidu jihadan aw mujahadatan. Ta'allama yata'allamu ta'alluman. Then tasa'ala. Tasa'ala yatasa'alu tasa'ulan. Then iqtaraba yaqtaribu iqtaraban. Tasa'ala yatasa'alu tasa'ulan. Iqtaraba yaqtaribu iqtiraban. Tasa'ala yatasa'alu tasa'ulan. Iqtaraba yaqtaribu iqtiraban. Inqalaba yanqalibu inqilaban. Istaghfara yastaghfiru istighfaran. Inqalaba yanqalibu inqilaban. Istaghfara yastaghfiru istighfaran. Inqalaba yanqalibu inqilaban. Istaghfara yastaghfiru istighfaran. So these are the 8. babs that you need to go through that. Okay, can anyone tell me this bab belongs to this darasa yadrusu? Darasa means he studied. Yadrusu means he studies, belongs to which bab? MashaAllah. Nasara yansuru. Good. So let's do this example again. Darasa, darasa, darasu, darasat, darasata, darasna, darasta, darastuma, darastum, darasti, darastuma, darastunna, darastu, darasna. Okay. Now for yadrusu, yadrusu, yadrusani, yadrusuna, tadrusu, tadrusani, yadrusna, tadrusu, tadrusani, tadrusuna, tadrusina, tadrusani, tadrusna, adrusu, nadrusu. Okay, so here inshallah the concepts related to the lesson number 2 is finished. Today we will start the textbook.